Welcome back. Today is going to be another cooking episode. It snowed here on the East Coast this past weekend, in case you hadn't heard. So the snow is still on the ground. It's been bitterly cold. We're supposed to get a slight warm up this week, but it's been bitterly cold. Today's Groundhog Day. So by the time this posts, we're going to know whether the groundhog saw his shadow and we have extended winter, or he didn't see a shadow and we get an early spring. Either way, it's a great time of year for chili and hearty soups. And I discovered this recipe before Thanksgiving, and I made it for my parents. And my dad's only comment was, could use some more beans. So this whole thing goes to prove that cooking is a matter of taste, and you can add most of the things you want. And in the case of this white bean chicken chili, the most important thing in the Instant Pot is to know how long you're going to cook it for, because that's the true magic of the Instant Pot. Other than that, everything's really kind of what you want to do. It's the Wild West when it comes to just sticking stuff in here, as long as you don't overfill, you have enough liquid, and you cook it for the proper time. I will try and find the original link I used and link it below. But again, I have modified, this is going to be, I think, my third time making it, and I've modified it each time. The recipe called for, I think, a cup of onion and 1 pepper. I have 2 peppers, some celery, and 2 small to medium onions. So we're going to start, and this part's the same. It's going to be 2 teaspoons of oil. So it's a very healthy recipe. New Year, still trying to eat healthy, and hearty, healthy soups are part of how I'm trying to eat healthier. So 2 teaspoons of the oil. We're going to stick in the celery, onion, and pepper, and some garlic, and we're going to saute that. I believe the original recipe, again, because it was only a cup of onion and 1 pepper, was for maybe 5 minutes. I'm going to saute it a little bit longer than that. So let me, oil, I'm going to kind of just eyeball it. Just want to coat the bottom so you saute and nothing sticks. See, I'm trying so light a hand I didn't even get oil out. There we go. Gonna hit, saute, get that going. Could put the onion and the celery in. Get the red pepper in and toss that around in the oil. Okay, I'm gonna throw, it calls for, I want to say the original recipe said 3 cloves minced. I have some of the pre-minced that I'm going to stick in here, and I'm going to saute this until the onions get a little translucent-y. Okay, so the saute is done. They're looking pretty good, so it's now time to add the rest of the ingredients. And it calls for pinto beans and Great Northern beans, a can of each, drained and rinsed. This time around, I'm going to try actually putting the liquid in from those beans, just to see if, it thickens it up a little even more. So there go the pinto, Great Northern, and then again, on my dad's suggestion that the only thing he would recommend is more beans. That last time I also threw in some cannellini beans, Cannellini, cannellini. But those I did get the liquid out. Okay, most of it. Okay, give that just a quick stir together. Okay, and again, I also modified this from the original recipe, It called for crushed diced tomatoes and then separate green chilies. I just put in 2 10-ounce cans of the tomatoes with the green chilies. And I'm pretty sure the first time I made it, I used mild because my mom doesn't like things too spicy. And last time I used the original, and it did give it a nice little kick. Okay, again, just gonna stir that together. Okay, and then it calls for a cup of chicken broth. And I'm probably going to do just a little less than a cup because I put the liquid in from the beans. But again, you also want to make sure you have enough liquid. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. I probably did maybe like 3/4 of a cup, again, because I had the liquid from the beans this time. And then it only calls for a teaspoon of chili powder and a teaspoon of cumin. Last time I put in a little bit more because I threw in a little bit into the veggie and beans before I threw the chicken on top. And then a little salt and pepper. Just gonna mix that together. Okay, and then you put the chicken in on top. And again, the original recipe called for 1.5 pounds. The first time around, the only chicken I found was 2 pounds, so I thought I'm gonna use the whole thing. And then that second time, it was less, and I threw in extra beans. So this time around, I could only find chicken fingers, but that'll work too. It's in between 1.5 pounds and 2 pounds. So you just lay it in on top, and then we're gonna throw some more seasonings in on top of that. Okay, and I'm gonna come in again with my chili powder, my cumin. As you can see, I'm putting way more than probably a teaspoon of each of these. Cumin's a little bit harder to see than the chili powder. I'm gonna hit it with some pepper. And I do find when you're trying to eat healthier, it's all about the flavor. And I did read once that the reason a lot of people don't continue diets is because they're not getting variety and flavor. So you do want this to have a nice zing. Okay, so now we have all our ingredients in. We're gonna close her up. And now we're gonna put it on high pressure for 20 minutes. And like most recipes and Instant Pot things I complain about that don't tell you the exact time, it really takes closer to 40 minutes to maybe an hour to actually come up to pressure and then do that 20 minutes of actual cooking. All right, she's ready to go. And I will see you back here when she's done cooking after, and I forgot to mention, after that 20 minutes, so after it comes up to steam, and then that 20 minutes, comes up to steam, after it comes up to pressure, and then that 20 minutes of cooking, you're going to want to naturally release it for 10 minutes. So you're just going to let it sit here on warm and do its thing. Let me make sure. Yep, we're sealed. And then once it releases 10 minutes, you're going to do the quick release, which probably takes maybe another 10 minutes. So for a recipe that tells you 20 minutes, it really does take closer to an hour cooking time plus, you know, all your prep. But I will see you back here when we're ready to take the lid off. Okay, so the quick steam just finished releasing. The little red button went down, which means it is safe to now open your Instant Pot. Oh, yeah. Now the next step is we're going to take the chicken out and we're going to just shred it with 2 forks. I think I got it all. Just look how easy it shreds. It's cooked to perfection. Okay, then you just dump it all back in. Give it a stir. And then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of yogurt, or I use the plain non-fat Greek yogurt just to be slightly healthier, but either works. And then you stir it up. Just, stir it, make sure that that's incorporated really well in there. And then the first time around, for whatever reason, I didn't think it was thick enough. So I did a little bit, the cornstarch in the water and put that in to thicken it. The second time I didn't do that. And I think with the addition of the beans, oh, it smells so good. And then this will serve 6. I use a cup to serve it out, and it's a little bit more than 2 cups a serving, which would be like if you had a can of soup. You can put cheese on top, eat it as it is. Here you go. Let me see. All right, let me bring the camera over for you. I mean, look at that. So good. Mm. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is so good. So, again, give this recipe a try. You won't regret it. Again, it's thick, it's hearty, it's healthy, and it is actually quite filling. Okay, so I did not film an outro in the kitchen cooking because I wanted to do it after the groundhog did his prediction and he saw his shadow, so 6 more weeks of winter, boo. But silver lining, 6 more weeks of chilly weather. So I hope you give this recipe a try. It's delicious, and I realized when I was editing the rest of the video, I forgot the corn. There's supposed to be a cup of frozen corn in this recipe as well, which just goes to prove my point. You can customize cooking and it still can turn out good and delicious. I really hope you give this recipe a try. If you do, please let me know in the comments. If there's any other Instant Pot recipes that you love, again, please let me know in the comments. Or if there's other Instant Pot recipes you'd like to see me try here on the channel. Thanks for joining me. Hope you learned something. Again, hope you give this recipe a try. Give a like and a subscribe. And until next time.